Okay, so I'm going to talk about what it's like to work from home. So, a couple years ago, we began moving our insurance agency office from working in our office on Main Street to coming home and working. So, we started like doing 3 days home and 2 days in the office, like a hybrid, like a transition to help our customers transition and really to help us transition too. So, the first thing that I noticed is that I really didn't know how to do it. I had a computer, but there was a lot of other things that we needed. So, okay, so I Googled, how do you work from home? I thought, it seems like there should be such an obvious thing how to work from home, but it wasn't. So I couldn't find too much information, but the information I did find actually was very helpful. Um, they began to talk about making routines and stuff like that. So, and I did adapt some of that information. But now what I've learned is that, okay, when we first came home, I was working from the dining room table. I didn't have an office set up or anything. And I was working from the chair, the dining room table chair, which wasn't very comfortable, but it's doable for a while. But for real, if you're going to be working long term from home, maybe at least a few days a week for a long time, you really need to get like a good office chair because your back is going to start hurting after a while. So, okay, so that was one of the things, kind of like. And another thing that I realized that I needed was a good phone, because we didn't have any way, you don't necessarily want to use your cell phone. It's okay if that's your business where everybody already has your cell phone number. But we had an office number that had been established, for like more than 15 years, and that was already out in the community. And so what we did, we found Ring Central. Well, actually, my daughter did it. She graduated from the University of Houston with a communications degree, and when she came home, she began to show us some of the things that she had learned, which was very helpful. And it's very helpful if you happen to have a millennial in your life to help you with those things. It's very helpful. The company's called Ring Central. Call them, tell them what you need, what you want to try to do, and they'll help you set it all up. And the price that we would end up paying for Ring Central is half the price that we were paying for AT&T, the landline anyway. And it was so much help. You can download the app, put it on your phone, put it on your iPad, wherever you go, so that you'll always have your office phone with you wherever you go. And I thought that was like the neatest thing in the world. Okay, so the other thing that I learned is that so that's a phone. I got my scanner. I got a scanner that scans 10 pages at a time. That was very helpful, especially if you're transitioning from going paperless. You need to be able to scan more than one page at a time. Okay, so, and then the other thing that I needed that we needed to do signatures. So we're an auto insurance agency. Everything needs a signature. So even like changes of policies and starting new policy. So we got a program called, it was at the time it's called EchoSign. Now it's called Adobe Sign. And I know there's like a document sign program too, doing e-signatures. And there's a lot of people are a lot more familiar with that now than they were a couple of years ago. So they show you how to do it. It's like a little tutorial. I mean, like a 10-minute tutorial to figure it out. It's very easy to do. So somebody like me, I am not tech savvy. I know how to use the programs on the computer, things that I need to do. But as far as like knowing what's the latest and greatest thing out there, I'm like, I don't know anything like that. But I could figure out this kind of stuff if I tell somebody this is what I need to do, and they say, oh yeah, this program does it. Well, then I can figure out the program from there. So I think it would have been helpful for me, and it was helpful to actually people to tell me stuff. So that's what I'm trying to pass stuff along. My daughter and my husband knew a few things too. So let's see, the Adobe, the other thing that the Adobe Reader, the free one that comes with the computer, you need to upgrade that to the Adobe Pro to work from home, because you can take a document that has like 20 pages, and you may not want to send all 20 pages to a customer. They don't want all that. All you need is just 3 pages out of there. So it lets you like delete pages. I did not know stuff like this. It lets you delete pages out of there. You just send 3. A lot of people may ever know this, but for the people that don't, it could be very helpful. Now I have learned that people like texting. They do not want me calling them, and they do not necessarily want to be doing emails all the time. But they love to text. So, even people my age, that's not the tech savvy people. We're talking about people in their 50s and 60s and 70s, and that didn't grow up in the generation of the texting and stuff like that. Now know how to text. Pretty much everybody can text you. That's how you might have a document. Maybe you just need to cut a few lines or copy a few lines out of a document and text it to somebody. Well, you don't necessarily want to print the whole screen. You know, you just want to text a little section, so that's very easy. You can snip it, you save it to a file or something like that, then you text it to somebody, upload like you upload a picture or something. Oh, and the OneDrive was very, very helpful too. That's a Microsoft program, OneDrive, and that enables you to store your files on the cloud. So no matter what computer, if you're using it on your iPad or your phone or your computer, I mean your stationary computer, you can share those files. So that was like, you know, like I said, we started like working from home 3 days a week, and then I was still going to the office 2 days a week. So whatever I was doing at home, I could see, and then if I was on, you know, it just kind of helps everything stay integrated. Again, so a lot of younger people probably say, you know, that's so elementary, everybody knows it already. But you know, a lot of people my age don't know that. And so, you know, sometimes it's those simple things like that that we don't know, that people assume that you already know. But those things like that are very helpful. And so OneDrive also, you can share your Excel files or Word files or something like that. All that you can do Word or Excel separate, I know, but you know, if you can put it all in OneDrive too. So when you first come home, it's not like you're gonna have the same routine that you had at the office, because I kept trying to maintain that for a while, and that really wasn't working. It takes about three months really to kind of transition, to figure out how it is, because okay, so when I'm talking about routine, I mean like when you first start a job, there's a routine that you learn on that job. Like you learn what days are the busy days, what time of day are the busy days, who does what, you know, when you can, when you have your time to work on reports or do heavy duty studying kind of stuff that you know that you do and need to do. And then when you have time where you know it's not that kind of time now, it's time to be interacting with other people. So okay, so it's just when you come home, you have to figure out that schedule too. So for me, I just kind of set a schedule, like to say I'm going to start my office at 10 and I'm going to close at 6. Those are my office hours from the Main Street office. So I just kept the same office hours. You could always adjust though. It's not set in stone. And you know, you have to get away from that to this. But if you have an outline, a routine is an outline, you know, then if something happens, you could just say, okay, yeah, well, of course, you know, if I need to do something at 8 o'clock that morning, I can get up and do it at 8 o'clock. It's not like them say, no, I'm not doing anything until 10. No, okay, it's just a guideline. Okay, so I learned that I needed to take a lunch break. So I take a lunch break from 1 to 2. And sometimes I just watch TV, eat lunch, watch TV or something like that. Then I come back. Because at the beginning, I would just either I start at 9 o'clock in the morning, go to 9 o'clock at night, not even know where the day went, or the opposite would happen. I've never seen it get started. I remember a time I went out to Walmart in the middle of the day like I'm working, like I was off. But I'm not really off. And that's the thing about working from home, it is work. It's not like you're at home. So that's the mindset that's got to change. That it is actually work that you're doing. So that's why you have to have a schedule, so you can become productive. And in a lot of ways, you can be a lot more productive, but a lot of ways you're a lot less productive. But either way, it just kind of like, it's something that you develop on your own. Nobody really can tell you. The big companies that have been doing working from home, with their employees working from home, they have a schedule or something that they can help people. But for little businesses, mom and pop businesses and stuff, or people that are trying to all of a sudden find themselves displaced out of their office and they're trying to figure it out for themselves, and their companies really don't have a lot figured out for you. It's just kind of like, I was thinking about, things like this may be helpful. One of the things that I remember reading early on, people started talking about gaining weight. I was like, what? Okay, but I realized that, that is a problem, because like when you work at an office or something, sometimes you park in a parking lot, then you got to walk to the building, then you're walking around the building, or if you're in a school or something like that, you're doing a lot more walking than when you are just walking from the bedroom to the living room to the kitchen. And then you get a little stressed out, you kind of walk in the kitchen and you see something to eat and you pick it up and you just start eating. You do have to start kind of like even make a routine for that too. Like there's certain times to eat, there's certain times not to eat. I had to make a routine like to go walking. So one of the things I do either before or I start in the morning, but usually in the evening times, it depends on the weather. I walk 3 days a week around the block, which is a mile. And here recently, about the last month, I've been going 2 laps, so that's 2 miles. So that's like 6 miles a week. And so from my age and my fitness level, that's very good for me. And not only just that, it's good for mentally, to get stress off of you. So sometimes that's why it's more helpful to me at the end of the day, because if it's been a stressful day, and even working from home, it is stressful. And sometimes it's more stressful because it's a lot that you're taking in and maybe doing if you're doing customer service, walking, talking with people. But maybe in the past there was a way to resend that out, talking it out with somebody else, or working it out that way. And maybe you don't have that anymore when you're working from home. That who you talk about your day with, or a certain incident that just happened or something like that. So that's where I feel like walking, to me, that's my preferred way of exercising, is helpful. That's all for now. I will talk more later. Thank you.